welcome to our channel where we talk about geopolitical news in the world. Imagine waking up to the headlines claiming that the world's most powerful military base has struck a sovereign nation, captured its sitting president and his wife, and flown them out of their own country without a UN mandate. Today, South Africa has sounded the global alarm by calling for an urgent UN security meeting over what is described as a grave violation of international law. But here is the real question. Why would the United States take such a drastic step against Venezuela? Stay with me because what's unfolding goes far beyond Venezuela. This is about global power, sovereignty, and the future of international order. So now we're asking ourselves this question. Why would the US attack Venezuela? To understand why the United States would allegedly carry out such a move, we must look beyond the headlines. Venezuela has long been a flashpoint in USA. The foreign policy, from sanctions and oil politics to accusation of authoritarian governance and regional destabilization of the nation. Washington repeatedly framed President Nicolás Maduro as illegitimate, citing dispute during elections and the rising human rights concerns in Venezuela. Strategically, Venezuela sits on the largest proven oil reserve in the world and has strengthened ties with US rivals such as Russia, China, and Iran. From a geopolitical standpoint, this makes Caracas not just a regional issue, but a global chess piece. However, capturing a sitting head of state through unilateral military action, if confirmed, will represent an extraordinary escalation, one that goes far beyond sanctions, diplomacy, or proxy pressure. This is where international law comes in, and why South Africa's reaction matters. South Africa has just reacted to this rising information that is reaching the world. The UN Charter strictly prohibits the use of force against another state or political independence, except in cases of self-defense or when authorized by the UN Security Council. South Africa has come out to argue that this action, if unilaterally undermines the very foundation of global orders. History shows that regime change, interventions from Iraq to Libya often leave behind instability rather than peace. Diplomatically, this situation risks dividing the world even further. Western allies may justify the action on security or humanitarian grounds. The global south may see it as new imperial overreach. Rival powers may use it to challenge US dominance on the world stage. The danger still remains. The danger is not just Venezuela. If powerful states can remove leaders by force without consequences, no nation is truly sovereign. We look at the case, what happened with Nigeria, and we spoke about sovereignty. We say, does it mean that Nigeria is not sovereign enough? Today we are seeing the same thing happening to Venezuela. So what role can the UN play in this issue? The United States Security Council is now at the center of this crisis. The UN can demand an independent investigation, call for verification and de-escalation, impose diplomatic or legal consequences, or attempt mediation to prevent further conflicts. But here is the hard truth. The UN's power is limited when permanent members, especially the US, are involved. Veto politics often paralyze decisive action. Still, global pressure matters. South Africa's call reflects growing frustration among nations who believe international law is applied selectively, harsh on the weak, flexible for the powerful. So we are asking ourselves all these questions. Look at what is happening in the world today. The US is proving as a giant. What we are witnessing is not just a Venezuela story. It is a test of the global system itself. Will international law be upheld? Or will military power continue to dictate global rules? As the UN debates, the world watches. Because today is Venezuela. Tomorrow, it could be anyone. It could be any other nation in the world. So the UN needs to act on this. If you want sharp, fearless geopolitical analysis without propaganda, watching this episode, do well to like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.